Welcome back to the channel, Review of TV subscribers, new watchers, and people that just happen to be scrolling through and find this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're finally coming back to do another side-by-side video. It's been a month or so since we've done one. We've been really busy. We're entering into the spring months, almost the summer, so we're trying to get a lot of things done everywhere else. And on the channel as well. So of course you guys that have been keeping up have seen some past accessories that we've installed, and I've talked about some different other things that we were going to do in the coming videos that we're posting onto the channel. So with that being said, let me explain what today's video is about, and then we'll get right into some tips and stuff regarding new tires. And as far as rubbing on your trailing arms or your front fenders, and maybe some suggestions of what type of tires versus the rims you want to use. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. Everyone's going to say this is better than this and this and that, but this is just my little suggestion. If you're going to go a little more inexpensive, if you're not getting some new rims, you're going to use the stocks, which I'm planning on doing, then I can give you guys a couple tips on how to make them fit so they're not rubbing on your trailing arm. As you can see, we have the stock rims here. The rims are a 14.7 on the front, I believe, and a 14" by 9" on the back. The tires are 28s by 9, 28s by 11. So essentially what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make this work without having to use spacers or offset rims. So we're going to get into some more finer details with this here in a second. For now, let me go ahead and tell you what these are. These are the Carnivores, the Maxxis Carnivores, 30". Got an aggressive tread. You can see the sidewall has a great aggressive tread, so you can climb up rocks and things without tearing holes in the sidewall necessarily that fast. You can see the tread too on the top part is pretty aggressive too. These appear to be more of a all-around tire, except for on road, obviously that would be a little rough. As far as what you're doing off-road, we're talking about snow, sand, rocky areas, water, mud. These things seem to perform decently in all these different areas that people have used them in. So these are the ones I chose. Granted, they may not look like something you want on your machine. You may not like that aggressive tread. You want some more all-terrain but less tready, whatever the case may be. That's cool too. I'm going to start with these and see how these run. If I don't like them, then I may just get rid of them and find a different set, or who knows, keep them for emergency purposes. Who knows? They're not that bad. You get a set of these without the rims for around 800 bucks or less. Depends on where you go and who you're working with. So let's get further into this. We'll go ahead and hit the next clip and we'll show you guys. We're going to start on the back, and we'll explain to you why we're starting on the back and what we're going to do to try to avoid rubbing on the trailing arms. We'll be right back. Guys, all right, so let's get started here. We're going to go ahead and take a quick look at the existing 28. A big concern is the spacing that's in between your tire and your trailing arm here. If you come up close and look at this, you can see you have a little gap here. Some of these trailing arms are designed to come straight out, and then you have your tire mounted so you don't have this curve in your trailing arm, which these newer models and these 64" base models seem to have. And you can see it's pretty close. I can get my hand in there, but with my big old sausage arm, it's not going to go further than that. And even so, looking at this, it's kind of hard, but I'm saying maybe, if you're lucky, 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches from here to the tread on these tires. So when you're going from a 28 to a 30, you know, you're gaining a couple inches here. So you can see sizably that these are going to be a little bit taller. If you look in comparison, you know, you can see that the other tire is substantially lower. Looking from here, that's definitely about a 2, maybe even a 3, almost a 3" looking at it level from here. It's about a 3" height gain. As far as the width goes, this tire is about a 9 still. This one's rated at a 9, so we're not gaining a lot of width, just height. What I was told, or what I researched, in order to avoid these rubbing on this, is you could go a couple of different ways. You could use an offset rim, so that way it has the mounting part of the rim that kind of seams out on the outer skirt of the back of the tire. That way it kind of pushes the whole rim out this way, versus having the mounting holes right here in the center of the rim. So that's kind of how offset works. I'm not going to get into fine detail with that because that's not what our video is about. But spacers are another thing. I hear a lot of people say just throw 2" spacers, excuse me. on these, and then it'll give you the clearance. But then again, there's also different skeptical reviews and feedback about using spacers, and that it throws off this, that, and the other. Like I said, it's another video, so I'm not going to go crazy on that. So I'm going to try to keep this video as simple with the information as I can. But I'm thinking maybe we can do this without having to do offset rims or spacers and still use the stocks, but you're probably going to have to purchase 2 additional rims. So what we did is, because the back rim is a 14.9 and the front rims are 14.7s, we went ahead and purchased 2 additional front rims. So now we will have 4 14x7s instead of 2 9s on the back and 2 7s on the front, thus keeping the rim in a little bit. So we're losing 2 inches. So we're gonna make sure that that gives us a little bit more space right here when we mount this tire. So, I mean, I could sit here and talk about this all day and explain to you how it's gonna work, but yeah, so just have 4 of your front tires on this, or rims, for this particular base model. So these guys, they come with the stock rims like this. Some of your newer models or some of your higher end models are gonna have, you know, the bed locks or bead locks, whatever. Different types of all-terrain tires that already come, more than the known stock tire, the Maxxis Bighorns. So you might be lucky and already have that and not have to do this, but I purchased the base model because I wanted to do everything myself. If you've watched my other videos, you'll see some of that. And then just experiment with it. So let's stop yapping and let's get to the point where I lift up the car and take off the tire. We'll put it on and let's check the clearance, guys. This may be a royal fail, but I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, it was a success, so we'll be right back. All right, guys, so one more thing I wanted to add in before we get to the mounting of the new tires. Let's see where we're at. We had a suspension adjustment done via Side-by-Side Lab, which is here in Albuquerque. Great guys. And they were able to lift this machine up a few inches during that suspension tune. Came out really nice. It gives me a lot of clearance. I can slide under here without a jack. So I want to see where we're at now and where we're going to be once we throw these new tires. We're sitting, guys, roughly at 14.5 inches to be exact on the back. And on the front, we are right at the same height. So we are level with the stocks on there right now. All right, guys, so we are going to jack it up. I'm using a 3-ton or 2-ton jack, and I put a big wood block right under the space there. It just makes it easier. I'm not gonna get really technical with the compact. We got breaker bar. I'm just gonna break these guys loose real quick while we have the car jacked up slightly. All right, guys, so let me rearrange this. Nothing's ever perfect. Now you can see how high the Can-Am is sitting without me putting this jack before I could barely slide it under because I lifted it up, so the suspension is real stiff. There's still only 200 miles on this particular machine, but until you back it up and drive a little bit, then it will settle and go back down to normal height until your springs or your shocks settle. Well, let's get this back up. We're almost there. Alright, guys, so far everything's looking pretty damn good. I mean, I'm putting the lug nuts on, so that should tell you something about using this setup for the back. Now, some people aren't big on thinner widths on their tires on the back. Some people are just, they like that fat, you know, fat look. So same thing when you guys are tightening, get these hand tight at least, and go the opposite. Don't ever go in a circle in case you're not a tire person. It's just, I'm gonna go the opposite of each lug nut. Then what I'll do is I'll try to give it a little bit of a torque. Make sure you guys follow torque specs. I'm not gonna go too crazy, just so I can lower this down here shortly. And then I'll get it torqued. Now, if you guys can see, we still have finger clearance right here. Definitely have whole arm clearance in the back. Gives us a good inch of clearance, almost, maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch. So if you get little rocks somehow stuck in your treads, chances are it's not gonna tear it up dramatically. You still can use spacers if you guys want. Like I said, I wanted to do this a different route. So we'll go ahead and get this next tire put on, and then we'll drop the machine, get the fronts put on, and then we'll come back, take a final look at the overall machine, see how the spacing is with everything, including the front, and then we'll do an outro. Okay guys, so we want to just go ahead and get the tires on the front mounted now. This isn't a tire tutorial on how to take the tire off or put it back on, so we can save that for another video. But we went ahead and got them all mounted now. If you take a quick look outwards, you can see, you know, they look clean. It gives the machine a nice level look. And we gained an inch. So we went from 14.5, if you look closely, we're almost to about a 16, but 15.5 or so. So we gained it on the front. And same thing on the back, identical. So we got a nice level height here. The machine looks more level. It's like getting a lift, a slight lift in a level kit on your new truck or something. But yeah, so, and I went ahead and took it outside and gave it a quick burn just to see if I'd lose any kind of power. Don't really notice, if anything, maybe something slight, but not even enough to really notice. It burns and spins the tires just fine. These tires actually don't weigh that much more than the original stocks. Probably maybe 2-3 pounds or something like that. So they fit nicely. Guys, we'll just go ahead and recap this real quick, just for those people that are actually interested in wanting to make sure that if they decide to get some more tires, whether they have a base model, they have you know, a souped up XRS or something, whatever, and you have these trailing arms that have these particular half moon shaped inner holes to them like this, where it gives you that kind of gap instead of a straight trailing arm like on some machines. You'll probably be worried that you're gonna rub if you do get some tires that that won't fit right because of the rim. So remember, if you're not ordering rims and you're gonna use the stock, and even if you don't use the stocks and you order some rims, I would keep it on this particular model, some 14.7s unless you're doing 15, whatever. But on this, 14.7s on the front is original size of these stock rims, and then 14.9s on the back. So we got rid of the two 14.9s and added two more 14.7-inch rims for a total of 4 of them all the way around. And that gave us the extra, let's see where we were at. We showed you in the beginning of the video how much clearance we have. We're at like a full 2 inches almost from tread, 1.5 inches. So you're still getting the same clearance as you were on your stock rims on these bigger rims. The Maxxis Carnivores 30, 10, 14s. Or sorry, yeah, 30, 10, 14, sorry. Thinking about another number. But yeah, 30, 10, 14s. If you take a look all the way around, got a nice good clearance. This is a 64-inch base model, so let's see where we're at now with these on, just curious. We're still at 64. So it may look a little wider to you because the back end is a different, you know, has a different look to it because of the tires and the treads and stuff and the height. But honestly, you're not really, and you're not gonna gain more width unless you expand your suspension. So I mean, if you're thinking that, oh, it looks wider, it's just because your tires are probably a little bit wider looking. The front end, same thing. You might notice that it looks a little bit different than the back. It's almost like a Raptor 700. They kind of have a wider look per se. It's just the way the body narrows down in the front. But if the body was actually evenly widthed out the whole way, it would look the same. So that's what kind of throws people off when they're saying, how come it looks wider in the front than the back? It's just the way your narrow body shapes down. So don't let that fool you. But that's it, guys. That's all we're doing for this. Finally got her some new shoes. I know I've been neglecting her for a minute, which I really haven't. If you guys take a quick peek back here, this will be in one of the videos. You can see the power management double battery system back there. Not going to give you guys too much info on that, but that was done recently too. So we do have a double battery and we have a power management system that's awesome. It's made it to where I can have all the extra accessories now, and I'm not just running off of 2 batteries at the same time. You know, you have an isolator and all this good stuff. So we won't get into details too much. I mean, for the most part, it's made the machine a lot better. And if we're going on long trips, chances are I'm not going to drain the battery without having another one to start the machine and keep on going. So you can get a bigger battery, but you know, there's mixed opinions. We'll talk about that in another video. I am gonna actually throw a tire spare, probably get another 7-inch rim, grab another tire set. If you're interested, a little under 800. If you're paying $8, $9, then you're paying too much, because you can get them on Amazon in a set for like $7.54, I believe, free shipping. That's not bad, you know, tires weigh, so shipping can be costly. They came in beautifully. You're not going to damage your tires when you're shipping them. They're rubber, unless, you know, you could throw them against the wall. That's one package I wouldn't be mad at if FedEx threw it over the fence. Sorry, FedEx, but yeah, so we're going to go ahead and call it on this video. Next is the chase lights, guys. I promise we're getting them in. For those who have been keeping up with the videos, I know I keep telling you we're doing the chase lights, and it's always something different. But as you can see, we haven't been forgetting the channel or neglecting it. We've just been really busy. It's the beginning of spring, like I mentioned earlier. A lot of stuff going on outside the YouTube world. And you know, it takes time to get things like that system put in correctly and wanting it to be just precise. You don't want it to be drawing or having any issues when you upgrade your electrical system like that. But yeah, we'll talk more about a double battery system later. We'll get the chase light video going too. And of course, there's other things coming, guys. I mean, this is a work in progress. It's just fun. Still only have 200 miles on this 2020, so we need to get her out there and going. But yeah, she didn't lose any power, really. And oh, some of you might be questioning whether or not when you turn the steering wheel, you're gonna rub up against the inner part of the fender well here. You don't. It turns completely one way or completely the other with no problems. It doesn't hit anything here, it doesn't hit anything there. And you get a nice look and better traction. These are definitely an aggressive tread. You know, looking at the old tire, here's the old guy. And so here's your 9-inch. You can tell it's a little bit fat, a little bit wide looking. Well, yeah, 28s to 30s. There it is. I didn't go 32s, I didn't go 35s. I'm not interested in doing clutch work just yet, so I'm going to save the clutch work for a bigger set of tires later and an upgrade on the horsepower when we do an Evo kit. Other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Watch the video. Keep tabs. Turn on your post notifications so that way you guys don't miss the next video. Review a TV. Just what it sounds like. Review it. What it is to be determined in the future, but this is one of the popular subjects of the channel, so we're going to keep these videos going. We may have something big happening here too, involving the side-by-side world in the making for the channel, and just it's going to get interesting, guys, if it ends up going that way. So no details, but if it goes that way, you guys are going to be really digging it. So we'll get back to that if that happens later. That's in a working progress in the talking stages. So, but we'll see what happens anyway. Thanks again. See you guys next time, and don't forget to subscribe.